Jasmine Damkewala. Now, all right, we are now going to apprise our viewers of some breaking news coming in first. Now, moving on, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta then questioned that what was there to hide that the Chief Minister had to barge in with the Commissioner of Police. Sitting Chief Minister entered the premise and violated all law and order. Narrating the ordeal, he further stated that she took possession of all digital devices and 3 incriminating documents and left at 12:15 p.m. The incident report was also drawn. Please see the totality of this. DG Police Chief were all shown the documents. They had the courage to take incriminating material. It is taken and then showed to public. IPAC has not even filed a complaint. I have Sambhav Sharma. Sambhav, over to you for more details on this.
Well, absolutely. These are the developments taking place in the Supreme Court, and as you rightly pointed out, Solicitor General has alleged the central that the CBI officials earlier also in a different case alleged that they were not properly allowed to do certain investigations, and obstructions were made by the state. And as he has cited the High Court record, noting that mob-like situation was there with advocates and other created commotion. And also, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta has asserted that ED represents, ED has claimed its officials faced difficulty while conducting raids in the state of West Bengal, and also it faced difficulty during the High Court hearing. He is talking about one particular incident where microphones were muted again and again, and he is putting all these things before the Supreme Court. But there are few more updates as well. Here, the Supreme Court has questioned whether the elections in the West Bengal are conducted by the Election Commission or IPAC. This is a big question. Justice Mishra has asked this question that whether the elections in the West Bengal are conducted by Election Commission or IPAC. And Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal now argues that IPAC holds confidential election data, and ED visit during elections could impact the electoral process. Another very interesting argument. Now, argument from the other side. Here, Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal is making submission when asked whether Election Commission or the IPAC is the authority to conduct the election. Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal has said this IPAC holds confidential electoral data, and if during the elections ED conducts similar kind of raids, then it could impact the electoral process. Now, this is a big charge made by Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal in the courtroom, and he has further said that ED's action. Now, these are the arguments from the other side. We have heard the arguments from the Enforcement Directorate. Now, the state of West Bengal's argument, Mamata government's arguments through Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal. Here, another important argument by Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal. He says that ED action came long after.
Right, Sambhav, stay on with me. I'll come back to you. Now, Justice Mishra states that the Supreme Court will issue a notice and the Supreme Court will examine this. To this, Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal pleaded that the Supreme Court let him make the submissions. I want to go across now to Advocate Jasmine Damkewala. Now, Ms. Damkewala, the question really is that, we've shared a lot of developments that have happened with our viewers just a few minutes ago. Would you like to simplify that and explain to our viewers what really is happening and what follows?
See, basically what is happening is that IPAC is holding, it's a consultancy firm. It is holding sensitive electoral information. There was a ED raid conducted on IPAC. IPAC basically holds the information. So now a petition has been filed by TMC before the High Court, and now ED has come to Supreme Court saying that this raid was not legal in the first place. So yesterday we saw that the maintainability of the TMC petition was being questioned before the Honorable High Court, that we look at the maintainability first, whether IPAC should have filed it or TMC should have filed it, because how is TMC affected? Now, TMC in this case is saying that it is affected because if you take away sensitive electoral information and data, there are chances of any kind of manipulation or any, basically there is a risk of any kind of interference with the process. So hence, that is their plea on being affected. IPAC has on its own not really moved anything. The Supreme Court petition is on the aspect that you have to, the whole process being conducted, the raid was interfered with, there is no proper probe being allowed, their law and order situation has escalated because TMC officials Mamata Banerjee herself barged into the IPAC offices during the raid and took away documents. So this whole aspect of one, interference with probe, interference with the powers of the ED under PMLA Act to carry out the search and seizure, interference with the government machinery, taking away data and information. These are the aspects. And when the matter is before the Honorable High Court, the whole, what we hear is that the court was crowded with lawyers, crowded with TMC supporters, and that has interfered with the whole proceedings because the London Solicitor General was kept getting muted yesterday. He was not really able to conduct the proceedings in a manner. The court was not able to conduct proceedings in the manner which is supposed to be conducted because of all the public pressure, noise, interference. So that is the crux of the whole aspect here. And then Supreme Court, the whole maintainability aspect is also being seen into whether who should have moved what. Now, when the Honorable Supreme Court says that I want to issue notice in the matter, I want to hear the matter, that means they are initially issuing notices for all the concerned parties to come and address detailed arguments at a later date. And so that affidavits are on record, because today, on the first day, what is being done is oral arguments. Once notice is issued, then parties file their counter affidavits, and their statements are properly put on record, and they're bound by the statements on oath on counter affidavits, and Supreme Court can examine the issue. So it's a very normal practice before the Honorable Supreme Court to issue